So this is about Aqua Bounty. You may have heard of this stock. There's an interesting tariff play on this that I don't think a lot of people are seeing. And I talk about it in this video. Check it out, see what you think. Okay, there's been some buzz on Aqua Bounty. Let's just go into it. This is a super high risk penny stock trade, but I think it might have a tariff angle on it. See what you think. This is from the Aqua Bounty website. That is a salmon. I assume that's one of their advantage salmons that's genetically enhanced. It grows heavier and faster and better than a normal salmon. It's farm raised, and that is their product. Now, why does this? What does this have to do with tariffs? Let's see. Okay, let's just talk brief history of Aqua Bounty. And again, I'm not endorsing you buy this stock. I just think it's very interesting how it may play out here. I don't know. It's extremely high risk. So about 2020, Kathy Wood was really into Aqua Bounty. It might have been before that. ARK Invest, the innovation fund, they held a lot of Aqua Bounty, but they dumped it all in 2022. It's a genetically enhanced farm-raised salmon. It grows to market size quicker and better, and it's just totally, it's like super fish, okay? Superman fish. And it has been approved by the U.S. government for human consumption. So this is all ready to go. It is the first genetically enhanced protein approved by the, ADA? I don't know. The government, U.S. government, FDA, I guess it would be, in 2015. So this is the first genetically enhanced protein, okay? And just to put it out there, markets have to state on the label that it's a genetically enhanced food. Restaurants do not. And you know how much salmon people eat in restaurants. Now this is a chart of ARK's holdings of Aqua Bounty. The yellow line is the weight of their holdings in Aqua Bounty. So they had like 8 million shares. I think they're basically down to zero now. That's the purple line. So they were real big on it, and then they dumped it. I'm not sure. In my opinion, not a financial analyst, it was raising capital was a problem because of interest rates and so forth. I don't know. It's capital intensive. They have to build a fish farm, like a big aquarium. Okay, let's just talk about salmon for a second. Salmon is the third most popular fish eaten in the United States. And I'm focusing on the USA here because we got the tariffs coming out today. Tariffs, I don't know what's going to happen. But salmon's the third most popular fish. 78% of it, almost 80% of it is imported from Chile, Canada, and Norway. Now, the thing is, I'm going to go into this, but China's involved in this too. So Chile, Canada, and Norway, those all look like tariff targets to me from the Liberation Day tariffs. The most import production is farmed Atlantic salmon. So basically exactly what Aqua Bounty's doing, only better. But now here's the thing. Almost all of it, the imports, the stuff from those countries and from the United States as well. I'm sure there's some U.S. processing, but this is all sent to China for processing. So the whole fish are frozen, and then they're sent to China, and then they're gutted or whatever, and then they're shipped out of China all over the world. When it's sent out of China, it's labeled China origin food. So in other words, it's going to be subject to tariffs. And That's a law, and it doesn't matter where the salmon was produced, even if it was produced in the United States. The last leg of production, wherever the final processing is, that is the origin label. So therefore, basically 78%, I bet mostly all of that is imported salmon from China. China. Now, this is from Grandview Research. The CAGR's 9.6. And you can see this. It's a good-looking chart. That's the demand in the U.S. market. And the blue is Pacific salmon. That might be the more fresh salmon. The purple there is what we're talking about. Well, I think we're talking about. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Aqua Bounty has different types. But anyway, the point is 9.6 CAGR. You know how much salmon you eat. So, Liberation Day is today. I'm making this right now. It's about 2:30 where I am. It's about 5, a little after 5 in Washington, I think. So, the announcements are probably being made. I hope I don't end up with egg on my face over this. So, definitely, there's going to be tariffs on China processed salmon. No doubt. Okay? And again, no matter the location of production sent to China for processing, it is Chinese. So the majority of salmon, I think in the whole world, but certainly in the U.S., is Chinese origin, or a lot of it is anyway. And I'm no expert on this. I'm giving you just a rough view of this, but I think this is interesting. So, the majority of production is outside of salmon is outside the U.S. anyway, even if it's not sent to China. Okay, it looks like there are tariffs at least initially, and from China, big ones, I would imagine. So, what will be the result? Will the processing move from China to the USA and from around the world to the USA? Will, foreign countries build... I guess if they imported the salmon, it's going to be hard to avoid these tariffs. Because if they import their own salmon, it's still going to be an import. I don't know. I don't see there's any way to get around. Will USA production increase dramatically? It's unlikely. There's already a lot of importing of this because there isn't a lot. There's a little bit up in the Northeast, in Maine and so forth. There's some farming. There's not a lot of farming of salmon in the U.S. that I can tell anyway. And, Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of live, caught, frozen, fish, ship processed, I guess. Excuse me. So, AQB opportunity, a possibility. AQB, Aqua Bounty, can produce quicker and better domestic salmon. So the question is, can it raise the capital or cash to build out existing production? They already had prototypes. They were already in production. They had a thing going in Ohio. It is, interest rates aren't the most accommodating. I don't know if the government would give Aqua Bounty a loan. They should. This would be excellent. And by the way, one of the places where Trump wants to build out factories is in Ohio. One of their main production facilities is in Ohio. So, the question is, can Aqua Bounty raise money? That's what they have to do. Okay. They're basically running out of cash. Will Aqua Bounty remain listed on the NASDAQ? It looks like they're pumping it to keep it listed. They got, I'm going to just get into that in a second. Right now, there's an interim CEO. So they have been dismantling the company part by part, selling off pieces to raise cash to keep afloat, basically. December 2024, they announced they were ceasing all salmon production. Okay, so just recently. So they had production going. As I said, this is a thing. It's approved. It works. They just don't have the money. And December 2024, they had $230K cash, and they were liquidating assets. So, that's 3 months ago. That's I don't know what their cash burn is, but that is not a lot of cash. So here's a 90-day chart of Aqua Bounty. You know, there was recently a pump and dump to take the stock up to $1.02. You know, when your stock is trading at, you know, whatever, 50 cents a share, then, you know, pumping it up, you know, it doesn't take a ton of money. So it's completely doable that this was pumped up by who? Blackstone? I don't know. Who knows? Secret investor? The public, I don't know. But anyway, that got it. So there's your chart. Yeah, I'm sure you can look up the chart. You know, the volume is low, 86 million, I think, or 86,000 actually. So 67 was the open today. And that was previous close. I don't know what it closed at today. It might be up. But anyway, you look at this chart, it's got to stay above $1. The majority of the time, it's been, since 121, it was above $1, and then it went all the way down until just recently in 324. So, looks like somebody's working to keep it up. I don't know if they got 180 days. So, they got 180 days reprieve from that delisting. But, you know, if the stock dips, you know, they may get an extension on that too, but, you know, when you're that close, I mean, this is just on a no-trade list by every major player and so forth, the AQB stock. So this is definitely a penny stock, very high risk. So, super high risk on, you know, penny stock. A potential Trump tariff play, it may be one of the best. If you look at those figures, you look at how China processes it all, they aren't going to be able to change that overnight, which means, you know, I don't know what the tariff situation is. How much does China charge us to send fish over there? Anyway, Trump could just add on whatever, you know. I think he's already added on 50% of tariffs on China. Anyway, the point is, you know, the China angle on this with Trump, it could be a play. Is it too late for Aqua Bounty? You know, can Aqua Bounty reorganize and raise cash, you know, for operations? They're trying to they got an interim CEO. You know, they're really, you know, really on the edge. Can Aqua Bounty gain market share with this tariff opening? You know, does it change the prospects for the company? I think it does, but not without the cash, you know. But if they had any reasonable amount of cash, you know, I think it would be a really, although I think the build out on those fish, well, I mean, you know, if you have enough money, you can build out things faster. So I don't know if that matters. But that's in the Rust Belt. That's what, you know, Trump wants industry in our heartland, blah, 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 salmon fish farms, salmon fish processing. You know, this is right in line with industrial policy. Will Aqua Bounty be price advantaged with the new trade rules? I think yes. And, you know, as they get the rate and the size of production up, the costs will go down. But, you know, this could make them, you know, competitive. And, you know, the other thing is, you know, if it doesn't go bust, you know, sometimes this happens too. You know, will it be bought out by rug pulling investors? In other words, once the BlackRock or whoever sees the potential, they may just quietly buy all, because, you know, 67, I don't know how many shares are outstanding, but it doesn't matter, that they'll just buy all the shares and take it private. So you could get rug pulled on this too. If you're buying it and waiting for it to go up, you know, they'll just buy it out or make an offer for the company at a low price and take all the gains private. So that, you know, super high risk, but, you know, this tariff play, I looked at some of the videos online. Everybody's doing technical analysis, and these spikes in the chart make it interesting with the technical analysis. But, you know, this is more of real world evaluation here. Well, anyway, again, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant or a professional, not a lawyer, biologist. This is for entertainment purposes only. Stock investing can and does end in catastrophic financial loss, especially with penny stocks like Aqua Bounty. If you were ever to, and I am not saying you should invest in this, but, certainly you don't want to invest grandma's rent money in something like this. You almost have to be willing to, right up front say you're going to lose all your capital. Potential upside could be big. Waiting until there's a slight more of an increase in the stock could be one strategy. But anyway, I think it's an interesting situation. Always consult a professional before investing. Not advice to buy, sell, hold, or trade Aqua Bounty. But, take a look at it. I think put it on your follow list or whatever. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting predicament. An interesting company. It seems, its time has come to shine, but unfortunately, maybe just, 6 months too late or a year too late, whatever. Anyway, that's it. I hope you liked the presentation, and good luck in the market.